Howdy everybody and welcome back. So this is an Airbike update. This is not model aviation but more full scale. As a lot of my close friends know, during the winter I stop working on my ultralight because I give the garage to my wife and daughter's car. And the ultralight's big enough now that the only way I can really work on it is in my garage. And I've had a couple of people say, yeah, but you've been working on the exhaust. Well, I still have to be able to put the exhaust header onto the engine of the ultralight to measure how the whole muffler system is going to work. And with the fuselage or the airframe, yeah, the fuselage is a better way to say it, it was put into storage because I rent a storage unit during the year for my airplanes. So that's where it went. So let's get this kind of started here. And I'm going to do a little bit different format on doing my updates on the Airbike. I'm going to try to keep them like 10 to 15 minutes or less, and I'm going to try to do them quite often. So right now, like I said, the fuselage is back into the garage, and let's jump into that. So right now, the fuselage is in the garage. The garage is still kind of a mess because I just came back from a fly-in for model aviation called CEF, so I'm still getting everything put away. The wings on the left-hand side on a table, the right wings hanging on the wall. But the exciting news is that I got my new bottle of Argon. I've got my new number 3s, which is my MIG wire. And I'm going to actually get this muffler, hopefully this weekend, welded up. So as a recap, I basically... at the end of last year, I cut out all these parts and got them to fit together, welded it together to make my header. Basically, you know, I built the header that went on the engine. Took some steel, cut it up into these shapes, which I rolled into this. And this is going to be the pipe that comes from the header down to the actual exhaust pipe. As you can see here, I had to drill a large diameter hole. And yes, it is not perfectly round, which was fine because I could not roll the metal any better than I did that I had tacked together. But this doesn't matter. It's still going to perform fine. Basically, I got that, dropped that into there. And this is what I'm going to weld up this weekend just to get it looking all pretty and ready to go. I then had my own high-tech NASA-approved roller that I rolled my exhaust, the actual canister with, which that looks slicker than snot, and that's just tack welded for now. But this is going to weld on the other end of that. And then I have right here a isolation dampener, which is going to keep the vibration of the motor from, and the exhaust shaking. It's going to keep all of it under control. So this weekend is going to be a really good weekend for me to get a lot done on this exhaust. I've had a couple of people ask me, how did I get such good holes drilled in this flange that my header comes off of that's mounted to the engine? Well, it's real simple. I went to Amazon and found me a steel hole saw. It's a hole saw designed for cutting steel. If you buy a wood hole saw, when you put it down into the metal, it just melts it flat and it won't cut it. This is a pretty cool ornery looking thing here for cutting holes. And as you can see here, it did really good. One thing I do want to address is last year I had a couple of people reach out to me, and I don't know if they were trolls or if they were trying to help, but they said there's no way this muffler is going to work right. I've done a lot of research on this muffler. There's a couple of books out there on how to make two-stroke mufflers. There's a calculator for making two-stroke mufflers. And this is the stock Kawasaki 340 engine and exhaust system that was on a snowmobile. And it's about a 34 horsepower, 35 horsepower motor. So it's got plenty of power to fly the Airbike. But the cubic volume inside of this and the links and the distances are very close, or if not almost exact to mine, except I modified mine a little bit to have that kind of cone shaped, which is on some of the higher performance two-stroke engines. And I don't want to call this a tuned pipe by any means, but it is going to help with the correct back pressure that a two-stroke needs to run properly. So we'll get back to that screen. So this is just a quick little update, everybody, and that's what I'm going to try to keep all these Airbike updates to. And so there's going to be a balance of model aviation and full-scale aviation here. Now, at the end of the day, if this muffler doesn't work, you know me, I'll just modify it, or I'll start from scratch, and I'll end up with one that works, okay? And some people say, you know, why don't you just go out and buy one? There aren't many commercially made two-stroke mufflers for a 340cc engine that are going to fit to my Airbike airframe. So I have not seen hardly any ultralights that you build yourself that have mufflers that just strap on without you having to do some modifications. But that's pretty much this update, everybody. I just wanted a really short, sweet. The Airbike updates will start happening quite frequently now because I've got the airframe back. I got the fuselage back in my garage. Once I get this muffler welded up this weekend, I still have to weld some flanges on it and then figure out how to mount it to the fuselage. But I'm going to try to start, I got my T88 epoxy yesterday from Amazon, and I'm going to try to get the left wing ribs glued to the spars next week. I really want to be covering this airplane by July, and the wings and the tail feathers, and fingers crossed get it test flown sometime in August. And then we'll do some really cool video of me flying. So I'm dying to get this thing into the air, okay? You have no idea how excited I am to get this thing into the air. And the fact that the fuselage is done. I mean, I still have a lot of... One thing, if you're still watching this video, it means you must care. Or you find this interesting, or you're making fun of me. But the last 10% of any airframe or aviation project I've ever done seems to take 90% of my patience and time. Building the wings, not that bad. Building the fuselage, not that bad. But, you know, like getting the instrument cluster right, getting the fuel system right, getting things just right. Seems like the last 10% takes 90% of my me trying to be accurate. Okay? So rock on. Thanks for watching me. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do it. I'm trying to build my YouTube, which, by the way, it is building really good for me, kind of a nobody. I'm super excited with the way it's building. So have a great day, everybody. Be safe, and keep kids involved in aviation. I promise you, they'll do better in school. They will be cooler people, and chicks love guys that fly airplanes. So rock on, everybody. Have a great day and be safe. Bye.